So I'm David Harrison Greis. Welcome to tonight's Greis Report. I'm doing a little bit of a midweek roundup, and I'm going to be focusing on immigration. What is happening in the world of immigration, and why does that matter for you? Well, let's talk about it. My first article comes from the AP News. So they report that 17 immigrant judges have been fired in recent days by the Trump administration. This is really difficult to comprehend considering that the Congress was just given authorization for a hiring of about 800 judges, and now they're just cutting federal judges. They're cutting judges left and right. And I find this fascinating because I heard from somebody that we all know, Kristi Noem, a little bit something about this idea that judges might be a little bit too political for her taste. Well, you could have, fooled me with your Supreme Court activist judges, but whatever. Let's break that down a little bit. So she's annoyed, according to The Hill, this is their reporting, she's a little bit annoyed that the judges are getting too political and they're blocking ICE from doing what the government wants them to do, which is act like Gestapo. So she's upset. Next day, Trump is like, let's just start firing immigration judges. But wait, that's not the real story. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Washington Post reports that in addition to everything that's going on, ICE has declared millions of undocumented immigrants ineligible for bond hearings. So let's break down what a bond hearing is. A bond hearing is basically when somebody who is undocumented, they were picked up for immigration, whatever you want to call it, they were picked up during a raid, they go before a judge. If whoever brought them in sets the bail too high, they can hold a hearing with a judge, and they'll set up some sort of agreement, like you come in for regular check-ins while we're going through the process of naturalizing you and you're applying for citizenship. You'll have to follow these guidelines, these regulations, and come in regularly. That's why you see a lot of people going in for these immigration checkups. It's something that will help them stay in the country long enough to set up a life while they gain legal status. Now they're not able to do that. So if some activist judge gets out there and says, all right, so you who just got picked up and don't have access to any of your accounts, now your bond is set at $11 million. And guess what? You're not eligible for a bond hearing. Well, that feels an awful lot like they're setting up kind of a, let's say, arrest to concentration camp pipeline, because now there's no holds barred. They're giving the judges everything. They're giving ICE everything. And the real sticking point here, the real sticking point I want everybody to take home tonight, ICE wants to hold these people, these innocent people, they want to hold them for the duration of their immigration court proceedings. So now they're ripped away from the life they were building in America. They're being held in a concentration camp like Alligator Alcatraz, and they're being forced to what? What are they going to do there? Let's speculate a little bit. Maybe put them to work. Doesn't that sound a little bit like slavery? We need to do something about this now. And guess what? There is something that we can do. Right now, according to Pix 11 and a couple of other different resources, there is an act right now in Albany going before the New York Congress and Senate that will mandate the end of lawless tactics. That is called MELT, the MELT Act. This is why we say melt the ice when we're out there on social media, because we're supporting this bill. This bill will allow for the removal of ice masks in public. It will banish them from wearing masks, and it will also hold them accountable by putting name tags or at least identification numbers on their uniforms. This is going to be a landmine for ICE, and it's going to be a gold mine for us. So we need to get out there and call our representatives and get this thing passed and support any other states that puts forth this motion. My name is David Harrison Greis. This is the Greis Report, reporting from New York City, signing off. See you next time.